here again because of the lack of funding.
All right, thank you very much. We'll now go to the Honorable Mr. Phil Fisher, District 4. Mr. Fisher.
Thank you. I have two items. The first item is discussion of the county attorney. We've had for a number of months an interim attorney on board, and we've had numerous applications submitted to the board. And I wanted to bring this up today in an effort to see if we're ready to move on that and to vote, or to at least prod the board along in this process so we can go to a permanent status with an attorney. So I've thrown open to the board as to what you want to do today, and how you want to proceed, so that we can go ahead and make a decision and get somebody in place permanently, whether it's current council or someone else, so that we have so that we have that behind us.
Okay. If the rest of the board is ready to feel if they've looked at enough applications and I'm prepared to make a motion.
Mr. President.
Mr. Stokes.
Mr. President, I know I've seen most of the applications. I feel pretty comfortable. Mr. Gayton, I think the only issue, and I hope we'll wait till the next meeting if we can, is payment. And I feel that there's no way, of all the work that an attorney has to do with this county, that the salary that's being paid or recommended is sufficient. I believe, and I talked to Mike Espy, who's attorney over in Madison, and he said that there's some kind of way that, even though that's the recommended salary, that's just for meetings, but we can also be billed by the hour for other things. So I would hope we can get that clarified, and then I hope we look at what additional staff he needs to be successful. And I know from Ms. Martin that we had mentioned and talked to her about additional staff. Just by himself, and the other one person we have, it's not going to be, I don't think, nearly enough to address the major issues that we have. Thank you.
Okay. I also feel like Mr. Keller's done a tremendous job, and that's going to be my motion at the proper time. That we go ahead and make a motion. We can do it at the next meeting or whenever, but I think that he has done well by the county, and he's represented the county well on a lot of different issues. We have Mrs. Calhoun and then Mr. Fisher.
If we move forward today in nominating somebody, then I would like for us to list the nominees.
Okay. I don't have all of them with me.
No, just the women's preference.
Okay. Well, on my list is only one. That's Mr. Gaylor. But Mr. Fisher?
I think just to address Mr. Stokes' comment that about the support staff of the board attorney, we had a recommendation that came out a year or so ago, maybe a little bit longer on that, and I think that recommendation should be reviewed by whoever the board appoints to assure that's in line with what the attorney that we appoint would want to do, and that we move forward with that in some form of recommendation. So it shouldn't be something that sits on the table idly whenever a new attorney is appointed, but that we should go ahead and look at after maybe a meeting or two, a month or so, reviewed by the newly appointed attorney, so that we get that in place and we get that behind us and we get moving on it. So
okay. I think we'll be
glad
ready.
you reminded us of that. I kind of forgot about that.
I think we'll be ready to make a motion by the next board meeting, unless someone wants to do it this meeting. Mrs. Calhoun.
I was just going to mention that even though we have a lot of legal work, many of our cases are being assigned by our insurance companies. The insurance companies select who they want to represent specific cases, such as maybe some of the cases that are filed coming from the Sheriff's Department. Insurance companies make these assignments. And then this board also assigned cases outside of the board attorney to other firms, law firms that deal with specific areas of the law. So a lot of what we are having, a lot of the cases or situations that this board has to make decisions on, attorneys, those cases are being handled by attorneys outside of Hinds County. And the board attorney very seldom handles any of our cases that go to trial. So basically, a lot of the work that's handled in-house is paperwork and what have you. So I think if you look at the list of duties that our board attorney handles, then we would be able to make a better informed decision about whether or not we need additional attorneys, because we do have a project officer that works in that office, and then we have another attorney that assists our board attorney.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Fisher will be ready to make a recommendation at the next board meeting, and we'll contact, make sure that we give the personnel director, make sure we have the job description available to all supervisors for us to be able to make an informed decision and possible range as far as the salary is concerned.
Mr. President,
Mr. Supes.
and from talking to my guests, and I hope you'll speak with them also in terms of salary.
Right.
Every time they call him, he's charging. Because the base salary is for coming to meetings and those things. And I know we're calling Mr. Gator, and he's looking at this, even though he says paperwork. It's a lot of paperwork, even though he may not be in the court directly. Indirectly, the court is the easiest part. It's reading all these statutes and all the different cases and everything else. And, you know, I just think the compensation should be increased. And also we need some more help, because especially if you talk about doing wage treatment plans and deal with you're going to need a whole lot of lawyers, a whole lot of legal department. So I'm just saying that one person, as good as he is, with another person aiding, is not enough for Hinds County to prepare for what we already have and what we have for us in the future.
Okay. Mrs. Calhoun.
The utility district work is practically in place almost. Mr. Davis has been working on that since 2008.
Or so.
Since 2008. As far as dealing with the Mississippi Department of Environmental Quality, that's why we have hired engineers to work with us to handle those matters. Those matters are not basically legal. And of course, when you're dealing with the state will make sure that you form legal. So that does not require, dealing with the department does not require.
Do you agree, Mr. Getty? That's no response. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stokes. Mr. Fisher, I appreciate you bringing this issue forward. We'll be able to resolve it hopefully at the next board meeting. Continue, please.
The next issue I have is the discussion of mosquito larva spraying and control and request for proposals. At our last meeting, we discussed whether or not we could go out for proposals or whether this was a professional contract. So I looked up and brought with me Section 19369, authority to contract for professional services.